Yo, what's up, Leo? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of January 2018. Leo, Happy New Year. 2018 is starting off with substantial celestial events. We've got two full moons this month. We've got one on the first of the month. We've got one on the last day of the month. That's pretty interesting, but the one on the first of the month is a regular full moon. The one on the last day of the month is actually a full moon, total lunar eclipse in your sign. So this is a big event, Leo. And then Uranus is actually moving out of its retrograde cycle on January 2nd. So it's been retrograding since August 3rd, 2017, but now Uranus is moving forward on January 2nd. Throughout the month of January 2018, the sun is going to be in an area for you that has to do with your work situation, Leo. So get ready to put your work hat on. You're going to be a lot busier when it comes to communicating with your clients, your coworkers, your bosses. And this area also has to do with your health. So you're going to be busy regarding, potentially some of you are going to be hitting the gym more throughout the month of January 2018. Potentially some of you are going to be making better choices when it comes to what you eat. Some of you might be trying to do dieting. Following January 19th, the sun is going to shift into an area that's to do with a relationship for you, Leo. So who do you think of right off the bat when you think of relationship? You probably think of your significant other. There's going to be more of a focus on you and your significant other following January 19th when the sun shifts. If you're single, this is a great time for you to make an effort to bring someone into your life for a relationship, Leo, following January 19th. Those are the main themes for you for the month of January 2018. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. Right off the bat on January 1st is a full moon, and this full moon has to do with letting go for some of you. Not all of you are going to be letting go, but yeah, some of you Leos have been hanging on to something for so long, and now it's time to let go. The universe is serving up this full moon in this area for you that has to do with letting go. So now it's time to let go, Leo. Time to take your eyes off the rear view mirror. It's time to start looking forward to see what else is coming into your life that's positive for you. Now, that's not the case for all Leos. Not all Leos are going to be letting go following the full moon, following January 1st. Some of you are, but for others of you, if you're not, potentially this just means that maybe you need to get some rest. I mean, this area has to do with your need to get rest, Leo. You're a pretty energetic person, but when the full moon hits in this area, you're going to see your energy level might come down a little bit. Now, this area also has to do with your fears. So if you start having any sort of fear following January 1st, Leo, I wouldn't take it too seriously, because when a full moon hits in this area, sometimes it does precipitate, sometimes some of your greatest fears will come to the fore. So just know that it's the full moon that's causing you to feel that way, and just whatever fear you're having, if you are experiencing any at all, just push it aside, because it's not real. Whatever it is just an illusion, and it's self-created. On January 2nd, Uranus is finally going direct. So it's been retrograding since August 3rd, 2017. So it's quite some time. It's like a half a year retrograde process almost for Uranus. And it's in this area for you, Leo, that's to do with faraway places, foreign cultures, spirituality. If there's anywhere that you've been wanting to go that's a distant location that you haven't been able to go to in the past half a year, well, you finally might be able to go to a faraway place sometime following January 2nd, if that's what you want to do, Leo. I know obviously that's a pretty significant or a pretty specific circumstance, but yeah, for any of you Leos that are looking to go somewhere far away following January 2nd when Uranus starts to move forward again, this is a great influence for that. Now, for others of you, this might be more about something that has to do with somebody who's from a cultural background that's different from yours. And for one group of you, this might have to do with your interest in a spiritual subject. Potentially some of you were introduced to a spiritual subject at some point in your life. Maybe in the past 6 months, you've been having difficulty understanding it. Now, when Uranus moves forward on January 2nd, if you need to understand a spiritual subject with better clarity, then this influence looks like something that could be helpful for you. On January 8th, Venus is making a positive angle to Jupiter. And this has to do with, especially for you Leos who have a home business of some sort. Maybe you own your own business, or you have a home business where you work out of home. This is a great aspect for that, Leo. So obviously not all of you work out of your house. And if you do, this is a great aspect for that. If not, then this would suggest some of you might have a romantic attraction for somebody who's in your line of work. So who do you know from your line of work who you're attracted to, Leo? This could, highlight this here. And on January 8th, I mean, Venus's aspect to Jupiter. Jupiter is a very optimistic planet. So, whoever this is that you're attracted to in the workplace, potentially this is someone, Jupiter's in an area for you right now, Leo, that has to do with your emotions. So emotionally, this person makes you feel good. This person makes you feel positive, upbeat, optimistic, buoyant. So those are great characteristics. So whoever this is, especially if you're single, you might want to look into this a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe you're in a relationship already and you still like this person. So we'll have to see what happens. On January 13th, Venus makes more of a difficult aspect to Uranus, and some of you might be attracted to somebody who's in your workplace. And what's the challenge here? Why is this an issue? There's some kind of imbalance. And for some of you, this might have to do with travel, like working and traveling, or, potentially this has to do with your health. And there's a bit of a challenge there. So it's going to resonate differently for all Leos. This also has to do, potentially for some of you, this has to do with someone who's from a foreign culture. Someone who's from a cultural background that's different from yours. So if there's anybody in your life who's from a cultural background that's different from yours, you might have a little bit of a difficult situation with this person on January 13th. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And this also has to do with spirituality. Potentially some of you, somehow creativity and spirituality might be playing a role in some of your lives. Once again, that's a pretty specific thing, but you could see something like that come up right around January 13th. On January 16th, there's a new moon in this area that has to do with your work, Leo. So it's going to hit on January 16th, and the 6 months that follow January 16th, potentially there's going to be new opportunities coming up within your existing line of work, or maybe there's going to be something new about your current role that's coming up in the 6 months that follow January 16th. And for others of you, this might be a new work opportunity altogether. So I'm not saying, all Leos are going to have all these new work opportunities, but yeah, some of you might have a new job opportunity coming in the 6 months of January, follow January 16th. Others of you are going to be stepping up your fitness game a lot more in the 6 months that follow January 16th. Others of you might see something new about your daily process. So what do you do every day, Leo? You get up, you go to work, you come home, you go to the gym. Whatever your process is, I don't know what it is, but whatever you do in your daily life, there might be something new that's integrated into that process in the 6 months that follow January 18th. On January 18th, Mars is making an aspect to Chiron, and some of you might be a little bit sensitive about something that's happening in a shared resource situation, because Chiron suggests sensitivity of some sort. And Mars can be pretty blunt and can be pretty assertive. So there might be some assertiveness happening here. On the other end of the spectrum, somebody in this situation, it's like somebody in this situation might be assertive and somebody in this situation might be sort of sensitive maybe. So on January 18th, this has to do with your home life potentially, or has to do with a shared resource situation potentially. For some of you, this has to do with a business partnership. For others of you, this might have to do with your sex life. On a more specific level, this might have to do with a contract of some sort for some of you, maybe an investment of some sort. On January 24th, Mercury is aligning with Pluto, and this suggests some sort of profound conversation with someone at work. So P for Pluto, P for profound, something a little bit deeper, and this could have to do with someone that you're attracted to. I'm not saying all of you, Leo, are attracted to someone who you know from your workplace, but some of you might be, and some of you might be having a pretty profound and even sultry conversation with somebody who you know from your line of work right around January 24th. On January 28th, Mercury is now making this more trickier aspect to Uranus. So earlier I talked about when Venus made the same angle to Uranus. Now Mercury is taking its turn on January 28th to make this trickier angle to Uranus. And not all of you are going to be traveling for work right around this time. But if you are, make sure you're double checking your itinerary, or potentially maybe you're just not that happy about having to travel around this time. or you're thinking about it. Mercury has to do with thought. Once again, this where Uranus is on January 28th, this area has to do with faraway places, foreign culture, spirituality. Those are pretty specific things. How are those three things how are those three things related to your life right around January 28th, Leo? On January 31st, there is a full moon, total lunar eclipse in your sign, Leo. So this is a big event. So this has to do with a major shift of self. So it happens in your sign. It happens in the sign of Leo. You are a Leo. And for you, Leo is the area of self. Leo, for you as a Leo, is the area of new beginnings. So some of you potentially following this full moon lunar eclipse on January 31st, some of you might be having some big new beginnings coming down the pike following that event. And others of you, this is going to be maybe a breaking away of part of yourself. So it's going to resonate differently for all Leos. But I think that's all for this month, Leo. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm on Instagram, Gregory Furlan Official. I'm on Facebook, Gregory Furlan. So make sure to give me a like there. Thank you for watching. Have a great month, and I'll see you next time.